this format of my monthly newsletter is going to be a little bit different. I don't have a video for you, rather just an audio discussion. And there are a few pictures that you'll take a look at towards the end of this. So I hope you'll stick with me through this. I guess you would call this a podcast to learn a little bit about Qi. So I titled this, Is Qi Real? I recently had a student ask me this, not on her behalf, but rather from one of her family members. They wanted to know, what is this Qi and is it real? So I thought I would just share my personal journey with Qi and perhaps in doing so, enlighten you a little bit about Qi and what it is and what you might expect. And that you even might have some things unexpected happen as well. When I first discovered Tai Chi, I had heard about this mysterious thing called Qi, but admittedly, I was dubious. Coming from a medical background, I considered that concept of Qi to be a bit too out there for me. However, it was only a matter of a few weeks practicing Tai Chi that my hands began to tingle and feel warm. At that point, I acknowledged the presence of something, but was tempted to explain it away from a medical perspective. One day, while leading a group in Qigong, which maybe not by coincidence was a group of physical therapists, I had a strong sensation in my left arm. I was absolutely certain that my smartwatch was vibrating from an alarm or incoming call. I looked at my watch, but there was nothing. I was just a little disoriented, but I resumed my Qigong and continued to lead the group. Then it happened again. So this time I sneaked a look at my watch as the vibration, now stronger and resonating into the bones of my left arm, continued. Well, it was not my watch. That sensation continued as my brain was trying to sort out all of this. I went from confused to wonder to sort of a wow kind of acceptance. There was no denying at this point, Qi was real. Qi is real. It's just as real as the air you breathe. We can't see it, no, but we know it's there. It's as real as the light that you see and the color spectrums that we do not see, but are indeed present. We can't see the waves of energy which provide imaging and X-rays or MRIs and CT scans, but it is there and it's real. As real as sonic waves that we can hear and those we cannot. As real as the vibration of a musical note or a voice heard and unheard. Even our cells have light and energy within them. And so it is with Qi. We can, with practice, increase the volume, the resonance, and the frequency, and I mean in vibration and amplitude, of Qi that runs through our body. What do we do with this Qi, especially when you start feeling it for the first time? Well, first and foremost, you just need to relax and invite it in. Enjoy it. Take sort of an observational attitude about it. Celebrate it, but not too much because then it will disappear. Don't try to pursue it. If you do, it'll evade you. I like to think of it as a shy character within, wanting to break forth in an internal happy dance. Qi to me is a certain invisible effervescence which rises up and expands from within. Once your Qi is cultivated, you'll become more sensitive and it will grow in its intensity over time. It will also travel more freely throughout your body. Typically, we first feel Qi in our hands. I first felt it when I did the simple Tai Chi movement called open and close, where you just hold a ball and you pretend the ball expands and then the ball kind of compresses. And even just telling you this right now, I can feel the Qi between my hands. But over time, it can eventually be felt throughout your body. And the more relaxed and open your Qigong and Tai Chi practice becomes, the more unimpeded that Qi can flow. Think of your body as one big connected garden hose. Your goal is to open any kind of kinks in the garden hose to allow for improved flow. I still have kinks in my garden hose, but much less and fewer than when I first started Qigong and Tai Chi. How does Qi feel? Well, Qi could present in different ways in your body and even different times of the day. Sometimes I feel it as a wave or ribbon of energy pulsating throughout my whole body. That is an exceptionally good Qi day. Sometimes it feels like static electricity covering my skin. Sometimes I feel hot and I can even break out in a sweat. Sometimes I have white flashes of light when I close my eyes, or even increased pain in the joints that might be bothering me. So if you have these sensations, just acknowledge it, but try not to attach any meaning to it. Just let go and rest in the folds of your Qi. Sometimes I envision it as a misty color around my body, and it expands outward. Almost always when I do this, the Qi does increase. So I want to share with you my most recent experience with Qi, because to me, it was a little mind-blowing, just like the first time I felt that vibration in my arm. This I'm going to title Foot in the Sand. When I teach or practice Tai Chi and Qigong, I repeatedly mention this concept of turning the doorknobs in the arches of your feet. This is taught to me by my mentor and teacher, Master William Ting. Last week, while on a camping trip, I found a particularly serene setting in which to practice my Wuji Qigong. The ground was a mixture of hard, solid rock with a dusting of pebbles and small rocks on top. For some reason, I felt inclined to practice my movements barefoot. I lightly brushed away the top layer of pebbles and stones and created a smooth, thin surface of soft, cool sand. Now, I have extremely sensitive feet, so I was pleasantly surprised when with the coolness and the extremely fine grain of sand. It felt like I was standing with baby powder under my feet. It was really delightful. I began my practice, and I became so immersed in the beautiful scenery that my Qi really ramped up right away. And my awareness increased, where I could see the smallest detail and the vastness before me at the same time. I noticed a tiny little ant crawling on a small blade of a plant in front of me. And I felt the sturdiness and presence of a giant rock hundreds of yards across the inlet from me. After my Qigong session was complete, I decided, out of pure curiosity, to see what my footprint looked like. I was especially wondering if my toes were touching the ground, which they should be during your practice, your Qigong practice, and if the arches of my feet had not touched the ground. Secretly, I joked with myself and I thought, I wonder if I can see the doorknobs under the arches of my feet. I really didn't have that expectation, of course. When I pulled my feet away from the sand, I was stunned. There, in the hollow of my right footprint, where my foot never touched the ground, was a starburst. At first, much like the first time I felt that Qi vibrating in my arm, I was filled with disbelief. I got down on my hands and knees and I looked closer, but it was definitely there. It was perfect. A round etching with a pinpoint center and starburst lines emanating out from that center. Now, I've been mulling this over for a few days when for some reason a video of no seeming relevance to me came into one of my social media feeds. I don't really watch those videos very much or very often, but this one did catch my attention. It was a video on the shapes that vibrations make. It showed a man spreading salt across a table. He then applied a roller across the edge of the table, like a pizza roller with a serrated edge. And the salt danced and vibrated, and gradually it started forming a shape. As I watched the shape emerge, I nearly fell out of my chair. It made the exact same shape as that starburst under my foot. Now, do I know exactly what happened under my foot? No. Do I believe it was a manifestation of Qi? Yes. What else could it be? I was absolutely certain that shape did not exist before I started my Qigong practice. I had smoothed that sand perfectly before I began. I did take photos of the footprint. I have 3 photos for you to view. Perhaps you will see it right away. Perhaps not. The starburst is subtle. So I invite you to look at photo 1. That's my footprint with the arch and the starburst. Then look at photo 2 and 3, where I have highlighted that starburst to make it a little more easy for you to see. Then go back to photo 1, where it's just my footprint, and that starburst will be obvious to you. Just like Qi, at first observation or experience, it might not be obvious. But when you feel it, or in this case, when you see it, it will be impossible for you to ignore. So is Qi real? Absolutely. And I like this because you have a visual representation or a visual manifestation of some Qi here under my foot. So if you haven't felt Qi, I don't want you to lose heart. I don't want you to feel like you're less than anything. Because if you're alive, you've got Qi running through you. It's just maybe you haven't developed the sensitivity yet, or the frequency and amplitude of that Qi hasn't increased to the point where you can feel it. Just keep practicing your Tai Chi and Qigong, and have faith that what you're doing is a healthful practice. And in time, Qi will make itself known to you. And perhaps even in a unique way to you, as what happened to me here when I did my Qigong practice here with the sand under my feet. So thank you for listening. I hope you found this to be interesting, and I look forward to seeing you in one of my live streaming classes.